Hey everyone, and welcome to tutorial number 2, where we will encounter attacking and assaulting, the two forms of combat in Conquest of Arthenia. As you can see, we already have a battle well in progress right now, and joining me is also Mark. So I'm going to go ahead and take the first turn, then Mark will also take a turn, and through that we will go ahead and explain some of the new mechanics of the game. Okay, so on my turn, if you recall from the last video, first thing I do is enable all of my unable units. So I have these 2 units in the battlefield that I'm going to enable, and then these 3 units in their locations that I'm going to enable. After that, I'll draw 2 cards and take my income. So I'm getting a 9 gold income and a 7 mana income. Remember, some units have sustain costs. I have 1 unit with 2 gold to sustain, 1 unit with 1 gold. So I'm going to get 6 gold. I don't have any mana sustain costs, so I get all 7 of my mana. I'm also going to choose to barter 1 card, so I can throw that card and draw a new card. Okay, so now I can pretty much do anything I want in any order. I can play cards from my hand, or I can also move my units, and I can attack and assault, which is what we're going to encounter in this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and move this unit, a 2010, out into the battlefield. Now that it's out into the battlefield, it has the option to attack other units in the battlefield. It can't assault a location the turn that it moves into the battlefield, though. So I have these 2 units to attack. One is a 10-15, and one is a 30-25. I'm going to go ahead and do a half tap on it, disable that unit, to attack his 30-25 unit. Now what happens is, both units will deal their strike to the other unit's armor. So my 2010 deals 20 damage to the 25 armor unit, putting its armor at 5, and his unit deals 30 damage to my 10 armor unit, putting it at -20. Anytime a unit's armor is reduced, or its health is reduced below 0, it's ruined. If it's put to 0, it's still alive. So I'm at -20, so I'm dead, and he's at 5, so his guy is still alive. Now damage also stacks, so I can use an additional unit to finish off that unit, and he won't get his health back until the end of the turn. So I'm going to bring out this guy, who's a 10-10, and then disable him to attack the 30-25. So it deals 10 damage to its 5 remaining health, putting it at -5. His unit also deals full damage again, so he's dealing me 30 damage, which puts my guy at -20. So both units are going to be ruined in this case. Okay, so now I also have these 2 units who are out in the battlefield, a 35-20 and a 35-10. Because they're in the battlefield and they've been in the battlefield since last turn, they can assault any of his locations, and they can also attack any of his units in the battlefield. I'm going to choose to assault though. So when I assault, I can choose to assault any location, and then he can only block with the units defending that location. If there's no units defending the location, then the damage is automatically going to get through. So once I choose to assault one location, I have to pick all the units that are going to assault that location that turn. So you can't assault a location with 1 unit and then later assault with another. If you want to go after that place, you're going to have to go after it with everything you have. Well, you're not going to go after it with everything you have, but you have to make all your decisions to go after it at the same time. So I'm going to pick these 2 units, my 35-20, my 35-10. I'm going to disable both of them to assault his encampment. Now he has 2 units defending this, a 5-5 and a 20-10. Both are getting a 10 armor bonus for being in the encampment, so they're a 5-15 and a 20-20. He can choose to block in any order that he wants to. It's just a one-on-one interaction, so he chooses 1 blocking unit to defend 1 assaulting unit.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and use my 20-20 to block your 35-10.
Okay, so my 35-10 will deal 35 damage to his 20 armor, putting him at -15 and ruining it, and he'll do me 20 damage to my 10 armor, putting me at -10, also ruining my unit. So both units are ruined. Now this unit's still assaulting, so he has only 1 unit available, so he can either choose to block with that unit and have them engaged, or he can choose to take 35 damage to his encampment. And your encampment has 95 health, so after 100 damage, you lose the game.
Okay, I'll go ahead and block you with the 5-15.
So I deal him 35 damage, putting it at -20. He only deals me 5, so I'm at still at 15, so I'm basically killing his guy for free. But since this unit has been blocked once, its damage will not go through to the encampment, so he takes no life loss. That is all I can do on my turn, so I will go ahead and pass it off to Mark's turn.
Okay, so on my turn, just like Brian's turn, I'll start by enabling all of my units that were currently unable, so these 2 become able. I'll now go ahead and take my income. I'm gaining an income here of 10 gold and 8 mana. Like Brian, some of my units also have sustain costs. This Pterodon Knight says pay 3 gold to sustain it, so I'll pay 3 gold to keep my knight fighting for me. And that is it. Now I'll go ahead and draw 2 cards. I'll also go ahead and barter 1 card, discard it to draw a new card. And now I can also make a move here. So the first thing I'm going to deal with is this 10-15 that I have already able and in the battlefield. Since it moved to the battlefield the previous turn that you did not witness, it can assault this turn. I don't want to assault his encampment because he has a 20-20 in it that's going to block me and kill me. So I'm going to go after one of his locations trying to cripple his income. So Brian, I will go ahead and assault this city with my 10-15.
Okay. As you can see, I have no units defending that location, therefore I have no option to block, so I automatically take the damage to my location.
Right, and since I'm the assaulting player, I choose which upgrade to ruin. He's got a mine and a channel on his city. I'm going to go ahead and ruin your channel.
So just to clarify, anytime a location is dealt damage, if it's a location other than the encampment, whether it's 5 damage or 100 damage, you're going to lose 1 upgrade. So your opponent gets to choose 1 upgrade to ruin. If there are no upgrades on that location, then it will just ruin the entire location.
Okay. Now I've also got this 40-45 that I'm going to move to the battlefield and use to attack his 35-20. So my knight will deal 40 damage against his 20 armor, and he will deal 35 damage against my 45 armor.
Okay, so this unit is ruined for free. He's still at 10 health. If I had a spell or some kind of effect, I could try and finish him off still before the turn is over. I have nothing to do, so I lost my guy.
Alright, I am also going to move this 20-15 to the battlefield. There are no other units in the battlefield to attack, so I could just allow him to become unable like the rest of my units. But instead, I'm going to choose to do a maneuver called Guard. When you guard a unit, you turn it 90 degrees to the left rather than 45 to 60 to the right. The armor is doubled, so rather than being a 20-15, I now have 30 armor, but I will not counterattack. So if on Brian's turn he moved out and attacked me, I would not counterattack. But I do have double the armor I otherwise would. I have nothing else to do, so that'll be my turn.
Okay, so just to briefly recap, there's 2 forms of combat, attacking and assaulting. When you attack, you can either choose one of your units in the battlefield or move out to the battlefield and attack any unit in the battlefield. And you get to choose. And then both units, they engage, they deal their strike equal to the other unit's armor. Every time a unit is dealt damage, it'll deal its full counterattack. So even if you come out and attack the same unit multiple times, it's still going to deal its full strike each time. When you're assaulting, you have to choose all the units that are going to assault a given location in that turn at the same time. And then the other player, the defending player, actually gets to choose how to block you, or if to block you at all, and in what order. Those are the basic mechanics of combat.